Hello, everyone, and welcome to our fifth tutorial. Today, we will be covering something which is called energetic stars and energetic rejuvenators. Okay, we will start from energetic stars. Those are the compound remedies in NES Health, and those are literally the combination of energetic drivers, energetic integrators, and energetic terrains. All of them we covered in the previous tutorials. I'm just reminding you that energetic drivers, those are the physical organs of the body that where we talk about cultivation and accumulation of energy in the physical organs, okay, like the fuel stations. Energetic integrators, this is the pathways of energy from one place to another, which carry energy and information in them. Energetic terrains, this is the energetic immune system of the body. So those stars that we are talking about today, they include all three components on them. Of them in one. Okay, so when we talk about body field in NES, we talk about 3D shape of the body's hologram in space. So it's not like the body has the front and the back and right and left. It's the 3D shape of the body. And if you imagine those integrators, drivers in terrain, they cover different bits and pieces of the body field's hologram. As to opposed to the stars, they cross through the 3D shape of the hologram, covering the whole aspect of the body field. And integrating together those drivers, integrators, and terrains. So you can imagine that we're talking about much more sophisticated and holistic approach to healing and much deeper healing as well. So let's go to the actual screen, NES screen. Let me just share the NES scan. So again, it will be just a sample test scan of myself that I think was taken several years ago. You can see all those, just go slightly down. Okay, you can see all those different screens that we cover in NES. And here are the energetic stars. Just reminding you that different colors like purple and orange means greater priority. Purple, for example, this is the biggest priority where the body really needs support at this particular moment. Orange is less, and then we have green and yellow, which is even more less, and white, which is not a priority for the moment. Okay, so for example, ES1. So first of all, those are all the stars, and it's quite a lot, and they deal with a lot of aspects of body field. So this one, although it's not a priority for the specific scan, but it shows most components of the overall immune system, including the thymus, spleen, omentum, and bone marrow. Okay, bone marrow is where most of the cells of the immune system actually are built up, and also this is where the white blood cells are recycled and red blood cells are recycled in the bone marrow, right? Now, the lymph, this is a star that integrates between heart and immune system. This is a very comprehensive star, and it has inside of that, it has energetic rejuvenator 2, not rejuvenator, sorry, an energetic integrator. First of all, energetic integrator 1, and energetic integrator 6, and energetic integrator 12, spleen. But also it has inside of it the components of heart. That's and it's quite logical to then look at the when we don't feel well, which comes actually from our heart. Usually that happens when we are ill, we don't feel well, and that's a connection between heart and the immune system or lymphatic system for this purpose. All right. So when this integrator comes, when where are the stars? When this star comes up, is usually for people who deal with long-term chronic viral infections. It's usually for people who are very sensitive to electromagnetic radiation. Okay, because it also covers macrophage system, monocytes, and immune cells of the red and yellow bone marrow, which all of them are very sensitive to electromagnetic radiation. Okay, so electromagnetic smoke. It also may be related to the conditions of chest and viral problems of the nervous system in particular. So usually people who suffer from chronic fatigue syndrome, from fibromyalgia, for different syndromes of autoimmune disorders, they show this parameter as a priority. Okay. Now, let's move on. There is a memory imprinter, which is not a priority at the moment, but usually memory imprinter is basically, this is something that covers 4 parts of the brain, all 4 brain holograms. It deals with triglycerides and other lipids of fats in which the heart imprints emotions and experiences. It may be related to symptoms like mental lethargy, mental fatigue, and brain fog, which sometimes people do feel, especially after a long-term viral infection, or basically this symptom could be part in a lot of illnesses. It may be related with our ability to express ourselves, to be clear about our identity. So it's more emotional part of this memory imprinter. And it also, people who show that as a priority, they complain on mental functions deteriorations of some sort, when the reactions and time and motor coordination is not as it used to be. And also some sort of deteriorated cognition in a way. It also matches to the fluid metabolism. So it matches a lot with the kidney meridian and kidney integrator. Okay. Now E3, which is nerve, this is one of my favorite because it's very, very complex, and it covers a lot of aspects of nervous system. So let me just tell you what precisely it covers. It covers nerve driver, okay, nerve function, nerve detox, nerve pain, regeneration of stem cells, but also heavy metals detox. So everything that I just mentioned now, it's to do with the functionality of the nervous system, okay? So it's basically central nervous system. It's neurotransmitters of all kinds and specific aspects of the nervous system, such as axons, neurons, and dendrites. It's also heavy metals such as lead, cadmium, mercury, which may be implicated bioenergetically in certain conditions. Some people, when they show priority in this specific star, they complain on earring functions. It may be some sort of issues or disturbances in the functionality of the ear canal or just hearing acuity in general. This particular one plays a protective role in how the nerve field deals with molds, with fungi, protozoa, yeast. So basically it's also to do with neurological and immune system detox. Okay, and very often this one comes as a priority if the person has any sort of nerve-related pain. Triple cavity is an interesting one. This one deals with actually hormones. Okay, it deals with accumulation of source energy to actually power the everyday activity of the body. Usually when we talk about triple cavity in NAS, we talk about main 3 cavities of the body field, which is the head cavity, chest cavity, and abdominal cavity. And you can imagine how many organs and pathways coming through those areas, okay? It talks about organ detoxification also in those three main cavities of the body. It supports increased mental agility and clarity of thought, uplifted feelings, and better sleep. So usually people who come with priority in this star, they have difficulty falling asleep and staying asleep. But it also could be related to just simple things like poor posture and shallow breathing, things which are slightly easier to correct. Things like lack of exercise, people who have more sedentary lifestyle, they show this star as a priority, or people who spend a lot of times indoor in general. This one very interesting, autoimmune. It usually deals with errors in the immune system, when the immune system starts actually attacking its own cells mistakenly. But mostly it affects the joints parts of the body. And we know that in any sort of autoimmune disorder, joint pain most likely will be present. So this one deals with autoimmune conditions. Circulation, it's a very interesting one. It looks at the specific arteries that are prone to narrowing, usually from fat deposits or buildup of calcium plaque, and to the more sort of dense flow of the blood. It's also related to tissues and ligaments, tendons, and cartilage in general. It talks to inflammatory hormones, and it doesn't have a link between good cholesterol and bad cholesterol, but it talks mostly about general bioenergetic aspect of the circulation system. This is also one of my favorite, E7, which is a muscle. It actually relates not only to the physical muscles of the body, but also to the fascia and triglycerides. It's designed to support tissue repair, which mostly happens at night. When this one shows up as a priority, I like to look at things like definitely nervous system, but also emotional health of the person, because muscles, they have a tendency to accumulate emotional shocks and traumas. That's why when we go for, let's say, deep tissue massage and so on, we can feel very sort of rejuvenated straight after, but maybe the day after or several days after the massage, we feel a bit down because a lot of things were lifted and brought up to the surface, but they were not dealt with. So that's the ES7, deals with those things. It also deals with enzymatic production. It supports neurotransmitters, most of the neurotransmitters, including GABA, serotonin, and dopamine, norepinephrine, and melatonin. So it's quite, you can see it's quite intense. It may be related to the condition that have a component of mental deterioration, okay, and rapid onset of aging. And basically, it's bioenergetically also stimulates cellular activity. It's a very, very powerful star, and usually when people start taking it for the first time, they might experience some detox reactions, but of course we know how to handle them, and titration also plays a big role here, but it's a very powerful and wonderful star that covers a lot of aspects, a lot of heavy aspects of health, okay? Now, chill is another favorite of mine. Let me see what it includes inside. It includes inside heart imprinter, okay, so heart driver, sleep center, and gallbladder and liver. Usually people that show priority in this one, those are people who have constant inner talk. We call it like looping talk or looping emotions, which bother them specifically at night. You know, it's different from the stress-related one. For example, it's different from the emotional stress relief parameter that we see on mind-body screen of NAS. This is more like looping emotions, the emotions that were not resolved, and they come from the subconscious programming constantly over and over again, and they obviously disturb the peaceful sleep of the person. So, but because it's related to gallbladder and liver, both of those are related to decision making, okay? Emotions such as frustration, anger, unease, and that's also something that might keep us awake at night, right? So usually when this comes up, most likely people have some sort of issues with their vision, because gallbladder and liver is also related. The projection zones of gallbladder and liver are in the eyes and vice versa. Okay, it may be related to learning difficulties. So when we correct with ES8, the chilling facility called chill corrector, we use it a lot with kids, and in some conditions such as depression and anxiety, people start noticing that their mind is sharper and brighter. You know, the cognitive, their cognitive abilities are much better. And also, if they felt some sort of deterioration in the areas of like slow thinking or more sort of forgetfulness, all these can be corrected quite nicely with this pharmaceutical. It's usually something that we advise to take in the evening because it deals with your subconscious beliefs. So it's better to be corrected at the time where we sleep, where our conscious mind rests and subconscious takes over, okay? Audio and video, you can see both of them here. So audio deals with shock and trauma received by sound, and video deals with shock and traumas received by your eyes, basically by visual aspects, okay? So it could be sort of memory systems affecting cells, muscles, nerves. Clearing them may help to restore functional integrity, which supports learning skills. Again, it's something that comes up a lot for kids, and it's not necessarily something that comes from their subconscious programming. It could be even like a scary movie or a scary episode of somebody shouting, or parents arguing loudly, and they can have effect on either their hearing from energetic perspective or their vision, okay? So by energetically, both of them, they support deterioration at the level of the temporal lobe, which is the primary area of the brain that processes sound and specific sounds and speech. This is related to audio parameter, but for video, it actually doesn't deal with anatomical visual problems like eyes, as we saw previously, like in chill, but with the bioenergetic function of shock as related to the visual cortex, as related to the thalamus and motor neurons, okay? It also correlates with the optical interpretation center of the cortex. So you can see it's very, very complex and sophisticated. It's a lot of things that can be corrected with those two pharmaceuticals. Female, it's more related to communicational link between the female endocrine glands and the source driver. Okay, in my case, because it's my scan, it showed female. Obviously, if it's the male scan, it will show as male for this parameter. Okay, but it's not the actual production and release of hormones for either man or woman, but it's mostly bioenergetic connection between endocrine glands and the source driver, helping to energize them, stimulate circulation of them, and support their detoxification. So when we're thinking about, so it's not like supplying hormones to the body, but more like correcting the link between the functionality of the hormones on the body. Okay, but it may assist with sexual fears of rigidity, fear of people, lack of confidence, with sexual relationships, but it doesn't affect the physical aspects of that. Okay, it's not like taking hormonal therapy or even bioidentical hormones or anything of that sort. It may have a regulating effect at the bioenergetic level for the menstrual cycles, but it's not really intended for the correction of irregularity of that type of dysfunction. We have other parameters on the skin, correctors, such as nutraceuticals that we use for that, okay? Now, this one is interesting as well. It's more sort of deals with the metabolism and supports toxin excretion. It aids with cellular metabolism and correlates to the liver and pancreas. So it's the detoxification bioenergetic star, which is also very sort of complex. It supports functions of enzymes and hormones. It may help to connect the subconscious and conscious minds and release images from the memory as dreams. So it's a star that deals with a lot of release, a lot of detoxification processes in the body, both on the physical and emotional level. Cell metabolism, it deals with cell detoxification or resisting the effects of environmental toxins. So basically helping, you can understand that if we reduce the effects of environmental toxins with this corrector, obviously metabolic processes, metabolic functions in the body will be more optimized. It covers a wide range of detrimental effects on the variety of environmental toxicities, such as things which are commonly found in environmental dyes, car exhaust, some fungicides, pesticides, and things like that. Also, you can see it deals with the reduction and elimination of PCPs, PCBs, DTTs, and so on. So it deals with environmental toxicity. So it's correcting environmental toxicity on the energetic level, okay? So detox processes can be long-term and ongoing because of our environment at the moment or nowadays. So when this one, very often actually it comes as a priority for many people, and it's very good to use it here and there, sometimes to support metabolic cellular functions of the body. And this one is another very sophisticated star, which deals with the cellular metabolism in relation to the bioenergetic effects of heavy metals, especially things like lead, mercury, cadmium, specifically in our circulatory system, nervous system, and different body organs, okay? And again, it's not like taking a binder. In fact, when this one comes up and we decide to correct it with a client, I add binders such as zeolite or like MSM and aloe vera and GI detox, like charcoal, activated charcoal, or I like the combinational formula like wide spectrum binders to go with that, because this one does the job on the bioenergetic level, and then the binder actually helps us physically connect all these toxins that were released both emotionally and physically, and safely detoxify them out of the body. Okay, so this is everything that I wanted to show for the stars, energetic stars. Now moving on to the energetic rejuvenator screens. Now this screen deals with physical anatomical parts of the body, okay, where there are energetic blockages and distortions. So the beauty of that, so in my case, it showed those 5 areas in the body where there are energetic blockages and distortions, and the best way to correct them is to use our favorite My Health device, which is a microcurrent device that includes inside of it, it's 3 main technologies: a CNR, electromagnetic, pulse electromagnetic field, and it's the TENS machine, okay? It's 3 main technologies, and they deal with different aspects of the body field. But also it imprinted with 200 plus functions of correct information. So in pharmaceuticals, those bottles of energetic remedies, it's one way of supplying correct information to the body, and this is an additional way to supplying correct information to the body. But as in relation to that particular screen, this device is used to correct, to unblock the energetic blockages that actually prevent the natural flow of energy and information in the body. So let me show you just a few here. For example, let's take appendix, okay? So when I click on that, it shows the meridian system, okay, that I go over within my health. It shows which integrators are connected to this particular. So basically, the blockage is in the area of appendix. It means that it's probably the blockage is in the area of the lymphatic system, because appendix is one of the several big lymph nodes, which actually the last station, so to say, in the detoxification of the lymphatic system, right? So it's a lot of waste in this area usually. So it shows, it basically helps rejuvenate and clear energy blocks within the appendix field and small intestine and bladder meridian. So that's what we do with my health. But the beauty of this scan as well, that it shows body-mind association for the appendix. So in that case, body-mind association suggests it represents repressed emotions, especially around an authoritarian figure. You may feel trapped. So what you can do, you can take this body-mind association and create an affirmation, or even more deeply, if you work with another practitioner or with me doing Psyche or neuro-linguistic programming or EFT, we actually take this priority that the scan shows, and then we work more deeply on the subconscious level to unblock it. So you can see it's both physical aspect and emotional aspect, okay? So let's look at one more. Scapula is in the area of the shoulder on the back, so it shows the meridian. In that case is the small intestine and heart meridian. For some reason, there is no mental mind-body connection here showing up. But usually when this one comes up, we know that it's usually related to the shoulders when you carry a lot of burden. Again, it could be physical burden that you just have too much on your shoulders at the moment physically, or emotional burden, looping thoughts, struggles, emotional issues that of life that you might go through at the moment. So that's what it shows. But it also shows some integrators where the physical energetic blockage goes on. So that's about it. So we looked at energetic stars and energetic rejuvenators today, those two screens. And I hope that you found it interesting and in a way clarifying. And you can see the limitless potential of working with an scan, because it just shows so much in terms of assessment, but also there's so much we can do in terms of correction, both on the physical level and bioenergetic and mental and spiritual level. So if you have any questions, you are more than welcome to contact me. I also very much appreciate your comments, so feel free to comment on this video or comment directly via my email, healthwithin@gmail.com. All the information on my website, and that's it for today. So I'm wishing you the great rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. Thank you, and bye for now.